Legend has it that in the swamps of New Orleans, fighters disappear faster than Conor McGregor's tweets after midnight. In this town, ghosts of past contenders linger, forever doomed to haunt the rankings, like Tony Ferguson's recent record. Welcome to UFC 318, where victory's sweet, but defeat might just leave your career floating face down in the bayou. Let's pick some fights. First up, we got Michael Unk Johnson versus Daniel Ryan Garcia Zellhuber. Okay, I'll stop with this accent, but guys, this fight, I sort of went back and forth on this. I was thinking, like, is there any way Michael Johnson can win? But I did sort of think, like, okay, Daniel Zellhuber really hasn't fought that many big names. He's definitely green. He's newer to the UFC. But when you look at the last two guys that Michael Johnson beat, they're both complete tin cans. And Daniel Zellhuber's last fight was like a fucking banger fight of the night at UFC Noche against a really good striker. I don't see Michael Johnson going for a takedown here. Even if he did, I don't think he'd be able to get Zellhuber down realistically. If this stays striking, I think that Zellhuber just has the distance management to keep Michael Johnson at bay, blast him. He stays active. I think he's going to win a decision. I feel like Michael Johnson, when he fights, he's good against guys that come crashing in, but that's not Zellhuber's style. Like, if you look at Johnson's last fight where he knocked the guy out, the guy was like zombie fucking striking at him at the time that he got the KO. So I don't see that happening in this fight. I think it's going to be a pretty easy decision win for Zellhuber. I think they're realistically just putting Johnson up as like some name value to help start building Zellhuber's career. Moving on to Dan featherweight Don Fry Ige. With that mustache, man, he is definitely featherweight Don Fry versus Patrício Lapdog Pitbull. Honestly, I've got it wrong here. I actually am picking Dan Ige to win, but it just comes down to the fact that I can't pick these Bellator guys anymore. And it actually came from Patrício losing to Yair Rodriguez, where he basically did nothing. And then the next Bellator guy to fight was, what's his fucking name? The guy that looks like Nate Diaz and Charleston White. Patchy Mix. Patchy Mix against Mario Bautista, he got fucking destroyed by Mario Bautista, and he was meant to be this world beater from fucking Bellator. Patrício Pitbull, I know he has this amazing record. I know what he's saying, that he just sort of froze up and didn't do much in his last fight, and maybe that's just because he was fighting Yair Rodriguez, but I can't count on these Bellator guys to win in the UFC. Dan Ige, that's funny because he's Don Fry. Dan Ige is like a gatekeeper, and Pitbull has definitely said that. So can he beat Ige? Sure, but I think that Ige is strong. He's got some good striking. He knows how to win in the UFC. He's actually beaten good quality guys, and I'm sick of Bellator guys. Until they prove me wrong, even Michael Chandler's meant to be the best guy from Bellator that the UFC's really seen, right? And he's complete trash. So moving on, we got Kevin Holland 4570 versus Daniel D-Rod Rodriguez. I didn't even give this guy a fucking fight name because he looks funny enough as it is. I think this is also just going to be another striking battle. I think similar to the Michael Johnson Daniel Zellhuber fight, this is going to come down to the fact that Kevin Holland is able to keep range really well. He's fucking powerful, man. It doesn't seem that way because he's so skinny, but fuck, he's able to just like catch guys on the end of his shots and really hurt them. And I think about the fact that Ian Gary was able to TKO Daniel Rodriguez with like a head kick and followed up with some punches. Fuck, I can barely talk today, guys. But I just, it's like, if Ian Gary can do that, Kevin Holland definitely can. I don't think that Daniel Rodriguez has enough fight IQ to really take Kevin Holland down, which is obviously the game plan against this guy. Although Kevin Holland did show some good grappling in his fight against Vicente Luque recently. You know, this guy also fights so much. It's crazy how much Kevin Holland fights. For all the shit we all give him for the whole 45-70 thing and for just being fucking really annoying lately, he is constantly getting in there fighting. I wish all fighters were as active as him. It would make this thing a lot more fun, honestly. But yeah, it seems like D-Rod, when he gets in there, it's just like, I'm going to have a prison fight with you. We're just going to punch the fuck out of each other. And if you do that with Kevin Holland, his kung fu fighting style, I think he's just going to be able to be out there and bang! So, we'll see. But I'm going with Kevin Holland by KO or TKO here. Moving on to... Oh, and by the way, with Dan Ige versus Patrício Pitbull, I'm going to put this to a decision. I think Dan Ige is just going to win by a, 3-round decision. Kevin Holland's going to win by KO, TKO. And then moving on to Paulo Secret Juice Costa versus Roman Appetizer Kopylov, because he's the appetizer gourmet Chechen. This one's tough. This one I really don't know. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to decide with you right now. I think that if Paulo Costa is motivated, I think he beats Roman Kopylov. If you look at the Kopylov fight against Chris Curtis, Chris was able to beat Kopylov in the stand-up most of the time. It's just that Kopylov landed some really good shots that were hurting Chris more, and he would have won the decision even if he didn't win that last second TKO. But what I noticed was that when Kopylov was on his back foot and he was, getting walked down by Chris Curtis, that was when he was really losing. So, and that's all fights, but like really, he doesn't have the ability to fight off his back foot super well. He prefers when he's the one controlling the pace. Whereas Paulo Costa, if he has the eraser style that he used to have before he had his Izzy fight, or if you think about like his fights with who's the black guy that did the spinning back kick that like knocked that guy out really badly? Looks like the guy from Never Back Down. What's his name? Fuck. Whatever. Paulo Costa, when he was fighting Yoel Romero, when he has that just eraser pressure where he fucking walks guys down and is throwing fucking punches left, right, and center and just won't get off you. If he uses that, I think he fucking finishes Kopylov, honestly. And Costa does seem very motivated to get a fight with Khamzat. I think he thinks that if he can win this fight, he can get a fight against Khamzat, even if Khamzat wins the belt, which might be true. I don't see them putting like Adesanya in there against Khamzat. Maybe Sean Strickland, I could see that, but anyway, how does this fight go? Kopylov they both have like a really good body kick, and it's going to be orthodox southpaw, so they're both going to have that body kick at each other. Kopylov could use that body kick to try and keep Costa away, but if Costa uses that to advance in, which I think he can, man, I want to go with Costa because I really do think that he's the better striker, and I think this is just going to be a striking fight. Maybe Kopylov could Costa's takedown defense is good. Costa's jiu-jitsu is actually really underrated, but yeah, okay, I'm going Costa. Costa by KO TKO. He's gonna walk Kopylov down. He's gonna erase him. We're gonna see vintage Paulo Costa here, and he's gonna take Kopylov out. Moving on to the main event, Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway. Now, fuck, man, this is also a really hard one. I'm going with Max Holloway, and I think I'm just going that way because I fucking want Max to win more than anything. But, you know, I don't like the fact that Dustin Poirier is saying, don't like the fact. I mean, I really don't like Dustin Poirier that much. I made a video about this back, a few months ago, and I copped a ton of hate for it. I think that Poirier is honestly overrated and doesn't deserve to be calling for like a legends only fight in his last fight after he was gifted fucking 2 Conor McGregor fights. And if you look at his fucking resume, it's like just constantly legends. Now, yes, that's because he's been fighting forever and he's been at the top, but when those guys in the top 5 just did their fucking circle jerk, we're only going to fight each other and not let any of the other guys actually come in. It's annoying to me to see him gum up the fucking lightweight division by saying legends only fight and then fight a guy like Max who he's already beaten twice. So it's like, what happens if Max loses this fight? He can't really go back to featherweight anymore. He can't stay at lightweight, or he can stay at lightweight, but this is not a great fight for Max, especially if he loses. I would have loved to have seen Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje for the trilogy, but you know what? It is what it is. So, as Max would say. Yeah, when guys say that they're about to retire, it's not a good sign. The only person I can think of that's actually had a good fight from that is Robbie Lawler, but Dustin Poirier previously has just had Max Holloway's number. I know that people are talking about the fact that Max has beefed up a bit, but Poirier has a good understanding of how Max fights. He understands that Max is a rhythm fighter. He's said this before, and he knows how to just stop that rhythm on the way in. When they fought in their last fight, we can discount the one when they were fucking kids, but the last fight that they had, which was like 4 or 5 years ago, Poirier was just so much bigger and stronger than Max that it's just like he didn't fear the punches coming back from Max to him, and he could just throw whatever he wanted at him. But I'm sure Max has learned those lessons. He's added more kicks into his arsenal than he had at that point in time. So if he can throw those spinning back kicks, throw some teep kicks, he could do some good damage to Dustin. Also, Dustin was starting to fade in that fight. It did look like Dustin was getting more worn out. So maybe if Max can keep some good pressure on, how does this fight go? I think that Dustin is going to come out looking pretty good for if Dustin comes out looking good for the first round, he's going to win this fight. Max needs to be like he was against Justin Gaethje, where he just came out super locked in and focused from the first second. Man. If you go back to the Holloway fight with Ilia Topuria, he still had that same type of intensity. I know people say that he got knocked out for the first time, but this wasn't like a really bad knockout or anything like that by Ilia. Like, he did get knocked down and then finished, and he did definitely take some damage, but it wasn't anywhere near as bad as the knockout that Poirier took against Gaethje. And I know that was a few fights ago, but Dustin's in front of his hometown. He got all the pressure. Can Max win a decision here? He could win 3 of 5 rounds. He could win 4 or 5. He could win more rounds. Poirier has the ability to finish this fight more than Max does. I don't think that the pressure of Dustin fighting in his hometown is good for him. This whole, him getting the letters this week and everything like that, this is sort of reminding me of when, Derek Lewis fought in Houston against Cyril Gane, and it was like everyone thought that he was maybe gonna, win that fight and then, have the title shot, but can Max get going? Can Max impose what he needs to against Dustin quickly enough to start getting into his rhythm and winning this fight? Oh God, I really don't want Dustin to win. I really don't want Max to lose 2 trilogies in a row. But that's the other thing that I hear. It's like, to pick Max after he's lost to Dustin twice is like, what am I, a fucking idiot? Like, my name is Big Dumb Harry, but come on, like, there's a limit to how bad we get with this, like. Obviously, Max has way more output. But just when Dustin hits, he hits so much harder. Max has to win this fight. I don't think there's going to be really any takedowns unless Dustin starts to get tired and he feels like he's up in the fight already. And I mean, at that point, it's like, whatever. Because again, if he wins the first rounds, I think that he's going to win the fight. I think that Max is going to... Okay, I'm going to say I don't know. I don't know who's going to fucking win this fight. I hope that Max wins this fight. I'm picking Max to win this fight. I'm picking Max to win. Are they really ever going to give a decision to Max Holloway in fucking New Orleans? Oh my fucking God, man. Picking a decision here is so ridiculous. Maybe... I'm tormented. Fuck! Nah, Max is gonna get a last second KO like he did against Gaethje. Like, who does Max knock out? I mean, he did knock out Korean Zombie. He has definitely gotten more size. He could finish Dustin. He could. Dustin's been finished recently. Yeah, okay. We're going to go Max Holloway by KO, TKO in the later rounds. We're saying round 4, round 5. He's going to start out strong. He's going to do damage. He's going to use his kicks. He's going to do body damage to Dustin. Dustin's going to start to fade. And then Max is going to pour it on him and get him out of there in round 4 or 5. Let me know what you think, guys. This is going to be an interesting fight night. I feel like a lot of people were shitting on this card being like a terrible card. And I know it's not as good as Dana was making it sound, where he's like, this is a banger. It's like, your main event is a trilogy fight between Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway, where Dustin's already won 2 of them, and like the only reason Dustin Poirier has such a big name is because he beat Conor twice. But at the same time, like, I think this is a fun card. All of these fights, like Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway, that's a fun fight. That's a fun fight. Roman Kopylov versus Paulo Costa, this is going to be a fucking banger of a fight. Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez, this is going to be a fun fist fight. Dan Ige versus Patrício Pitbull, this could go either way. I could see this being like a really good, high-level fight. I'm interested to see how Patrício comes out, if he can actually do something after the Yair Rodriguez fight. And then Michael Johnson versus Daniel Zellhuber, I mean... this is also going to be a good... I'm just seeing like all interesting striking matches in this top 5. So the prelims are garbage. So I do understand if people are talking about that. But, I'd be surprised if most fans are really talking about the prelims being so bad. But I don't... what do you think? Like, do you think that this is really that bad of a card? And if so, can you tell me why? Like, is it because of the prelims? Or do you actually just think that this main card is not great? Is it because there's not a title fight on the line? Like... because the BMF title's not really a title? Like, I could see that argument, but I sort of miss the days of the UFC where cards were more like this more frequently. You just had like fun fights on the cards and they didn't always have to be for a title. They could have juiced it up a bit more. I do think that Michael Johnson being the fucking opener of the card is a bit ridiculous, but anyway, let me know what you think. I'm excited. See you guys. Oh, one last thing. Let me know if you're keen on seeing this. Yeah, if you've made it to the end of this video, I doubt it. But there's a PFL event here in Cape Town this weekend, and I was thinking of doing a vlog for it. But it means that I'm going to have to, like, go to the PFL event, and then come straight back home, watch the fights, do my reactions. I'm probably not going to sleep for like fucking 30 hours straight. So I'm down to do it. I'm just curious if you'll enjoy it. Anyway, we're in the bayou for UFC 318, New Orleans, Louisiana. House of the Rising Sun. Let's go.